Hey there, YouTube. I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Coming to you on a rainy Friday here in South Alabama, but hopefully the rain's going to get out of here today, and we're supposed to have a pretty good weekend. So just thought I would finish off the week with a short talk on raw vegan food combining. I get comments, especially on Instagram. I get sharing my stuff. I share a lot of what I eat in my stories over there. I share my recipes. I share different things, and I get comments on different things. So I just thought that this would be a good place to kind of clarify. Although I've done videos on raw vegan food combining before. First of all, just go to Google and search raw vegan food combining chart. And then when that comes up, go to images and you'll find a number of images. Now, I'm not super specific on that. You can get the basics on that of the things you should put together and the things that you shouldn't mix together. But your mileage may vary. I don't do bad combinations, but I'm also not religious about following food combining to the letter. And I think that's going to be different for different people, and I'm going to kind of explain why. People, like I say, people will make comments or will send me messages over on Instagram about, well, I do this and I get bloating, or I eat fruit and I get bloated, or it's always like something like they start eating the healthy stuff, or they eat like this, or they eat fruits and vegetables, and then they're like talking about, oh, it's causing the bloating. Now, also too, my approach to this raw vegan diet is different than most people you watch out there, raw vegan creators. So, you're going to get something different from me. And like I say, I've never done this channel to try to sway people. This is just what I do, how I eat, and kind of my process of how I've gone along and evolved and changed over 10 years. Also too, like some of the stuff I'm talking about here, I'm not fully raw. I have to realize that every time I do a video that there are new people on there, every single video that don't have any context. So, and it'll be funny, sometimes on Instagram people will think they've got that aha, I got you moment. They'll see, I'll mention something about cooked food and they're like, I thought you were raw vegan. I'm like, dude, I mention at least in at least 1 out of 3 videos that I eat some cooked food. So without knowing everything about a person's diet, like everything they take in, how much, when, blah, 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 I'm just guessing. And that's why I'm saying that if you're really trying to figure out the things that are troubling you or issues you have, you got to keep that food journal. You got to keep that food journal. In fact, I got some food journals on Amazon in the link below. Well, I've got one in the link below. I should put some more down there, but you got to write it down. Because what I think a lot of times, I think it's usually one of two things. I would say when people are having issues with fruit and vegetables, or even combining certain things, and they're getting bloating, or their stomachs aren't working right, or this or that isn't working right, a lot of times it's not the bananas or the greens or this fruit or that fruit. It's the other stuff you're eating, and then you're eating the fruit and the greens and blah, blah, blah. It's the same way where people will say, well, fruit will make you fat, or fruit's going to make your blood sugar go up. And fruit will make you fat if you're eating a lot of fruit and you're eating a standard American diet, or if you're eating a lot of fruit and you're just scarfing down fat. Now, that's one of the things where people will get a little bit confused with me. That's one of my ones where I will, food combining says don't add any fat to fruit. And I mostly stick to that, but in my nice cream, I like to have almond butter in my nice cream from time to time. Or sometimes I'll like to put some walnuts, just mix some walnuts in there, or over in the fall when the pecans get good, I'll put pecans in there. And they'll ask me, sometimes it's almost like I know they don't mean it like that, but they'll like, I'll be showing something. It's like I'm eating something right now. I've showed it to you, and they're like, well, can you eat that? Or can you eat it? I'm eating it. I'm eating it. What are you calling me? I guess you're calling me the village idiot. Like I'm eating something that I know isn't good for me. So no, it doesn't bother me because. And another thing too. The second reason I think people experience certain issues, and this happens a lot on the raw vegan diet, and this is when I said my methods are a lot different than a lot of other raw vegan creators out there, and other raw vegans that you just hear talking about it. Is I believe in getting a lot of diversity. I think most people that are having problems, then having all these little issues, this and that, they don't have enough diversity in their life. And if you don't have diversity, yes, adding anything in there is going to throw off your digestion. It just is what it is. And that, I didn't really kind of make that connection until probably, oh, I don't know, 10 years, like I'm 10 years in now. It was probably 3 or 4 years ago when I started kind of making that connection, like even with me, you know, when I was in Costa Rica, I was a little bit more less diverse. Like I was just eating, you know, certain things, not so much because I thought it was bad, just because that was what was available to me. And the same thing would happen. Like I would eat anything that I didn't eat just every day, and it wouldn't exactly sit right with me. So definitely since I've been back to the States, I work on diversity. I work on, my Bible is that fiber fueled, healing the gut biome, making your gut biome as bulletproof, as strong as possible. And that's about diversity. And that's why in those salads that I make, I've always tried to get so many different things, different colors in there. I try to see, you know, how many different fruits and vegetables I can get throughout the week. I don't necessarily obsess over anything like that. It's mostly the colors. Like I'm constantly thinking colors. I'm thinking, okay, like in my salads, I've got purple cabbage, I've got broccoli chopped up where I can, you know, digest better. I keep carrots around for the orange. I like my reds around. I got tomatoes, I got red peppers. So I'm just always kind of trying to eat that rainbow. Pardon the cliche there, but yeah, look, I don't honestly, and I'm gonna finish this off because I said this was gonna be a short one today. I don't obsess over this whole thing like most people do. I just eat, and I pay attention to what every bite of food I put into my body does, and I adjust accordingly. I'm like, okay, well, I felt a little bit like this, or I was a little bit more sluggish after eating this. That all goes in the database up here, and it's all kind of factored in. And, you know, like as over the course of 10 years, I've made changes, but what I found working for me is just kind of figuring things out on your own, using yourself as an experiment. How do you actually feel when you're putting it in your body? Giving myself enough time and making little changes or tweaking and adjusting along the way without constantly flip-flopping, going from I'm doing nothing but drinking juice every day to now I'm doing this to now I'm doing this trend or fad or whatever. So I just keep it simple, but I eat a lot of good food. I try to eat as clean as possible, like I say, without being obsessed. But I think you will find if you get more diversity into your diet, and also too, like I said, a lot of times it's the other things you're eating until you know, this fruit and vegetable thing, plant-based may not work so well for you if you're holding on to certain things. You know, if you're still eating some junk food, or if you're eating this and that, or I'm just eating this every once in a while. Those are the things that will tend to trip you up. So go out there, Google, and get yourself a food combining chart and just start working through and figuring this thing out. And like I say, it's not even for somebody else to tell somebody else. Get yourself a food journal, and you don't have to get a proper food journal. You can go this afternoon to Walmart. Go to Walmart and get yourself a notebook. Somebody just like I create because people like something a little bit more fancy, or you know, that is set up for a particular thing. But yeah, go to Walmart this afternoon, and then when you write down everything you're putting into your body, you don't even have to have anybody else do it. You can go back and figure out these things. You're bloated, okay, well, this is the things I was eating. Use a little bit common sense, remove these things, do this, make sure you're staying hydrated, and it's not rocket science. So anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Have a beautiful weekend, and I think I've actually got a video planned for the weekend too, so I'll see you then. Peace.